The MTA is interested in your thoughts about MTA service. That's why we feature a segment called Ask the MTA. On each Ask the MTA segment, we give you an opportunity to ask MTA personnel a question you have concerning transit. And here to answer your questions is Tim Barham, MTA Transit Operations. We recently took to the streets for your customer concerns and questions, and here's the first one.
My name is Emma Dorsey Barnes. As a senior citizen and able to observe other senior citizens, I would like to know, will MTA use more monitors on the buses and also on the light rail in order that behaviors may be monitored for both adults and for children going back and forth to school?
You know, this question about behavior and the cameras, what are we doing? Because I thought we had a pretty extensive system.
Well, currently we have increased the number of cameras on our buses to 10. We have 4 on the outside and 6 on the inside. And for light rail, actually, we currently have 8 cameras, 2 on the outside, 6 on the inside. And we do have a project with Midlight Project that'll be taking place in which we'll have multiple cameras, even more on light rail system coming shortly.
Now, I know there are plans long-term to have those cameras monitored in real time. So that's something that's down the road. But those cameras are checked when incidents are reported. So folks should rest assured we are watching. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, our next question.
My name is Tanea. I'm from East Baltimore. I ride the 5 very frequently, and I wonder why it's always late.
You know, and today is the 5, but, you know, we get calls and concerns about various bus lines. What can you tell us if there are any specific problems related to the 5?
Well, with the 5 line, you know, it's one of our more heavily rided schedules.
Right.
And with that issue, along with traffic congestions and other things that may occur.
And it's peak time.
Yes,
it's going through rush hour traffic.
Exactly,
and
exactly. So that can slow it down quite a bit. But we work with the Office of Service Quality coordinators and along with the control room to try to stem the tide, so to speak, to make sure that we do our best to keep that line on schedule.
Now, one of the things that people can do if there's a persistent problem, like if there's a stop that's getting skipped or whatever else, they can email us or call us to let us know, and we'll go out and monitor it. Now, the 5 has endpoints. Do you know what the endpoints are for the 5? I know it goes as far as Sedonia on one end and then over to Mondawmin on the other end. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So if you're going from Sedonia, even driving in normal traffic, trying to get from Sedonia to Mondawmin, you're going to be delayed. So we just ask folks to report consistent problems.
Exactly.
Now, our next question.
My name is Daniel Wilson. I'm from Park Heights. My question is, why is it unlawful to play your music out loud at a subway station that's outside?
You know what, I need to answer that question for them. No, but go ahead. Why is it unlawful? It's not necessarily unlawful outside the station. It's when you're on our system, am I correct?
Well, yes, actually, under the Maryland General Assembly, there actually is a provision that actually states, for the most part, that it's unlawful to, or is prohibited to have noise-related type of electronic devices on transit vehicles. As far as out on the subways or outside,
I think where the confusion may be, if you're on a platform in our station, even though that's outside, you're on the platform inside the station. You're on inside of our property. That's, I don't care if you consider that outside. That's on our property. You need to have appropriate headphones.
Exactly, and we also abide by whatever local ordinance is as far as noise levels as well.
And everybody doesn't like your music.
That's true.
I'm just saying, I have great taste, but you know. Our next question.
Hello, I'm Mark Copeland from Park Heights. And I want to know, when you have 2 buses on the same route, you're only going a short distance, why do they both come at the same time when one could come at half the time and the other one can come the other half of the time?
The whole question is about seeing 2 buses show up at the same time. Any number of things could affect that.
Well, yes. In fact, in some cases, it may not actually be the same bus. They may be going to different destinations. You may have a quick bus or an express bus that may be along those lines. But unfortunately, every so often, you may have an issue in which a schedule is running so late that the other route
the buses
may
depart from the same time, near the same time, and end up showing up at the same time.
Exactly.
But you know what? I always err on the side of saying I'd rather see 2 buses than no buses. Our next question.
How you doing? My name is Brandon Sims. Basically, is the subway ever going to be north to south other than east to west?
You know, this question about expanding Metro, I think that's a hard thing. People understand that tunneling through communities is very challenging, i.e. the red line.
Exactly, and then there's an expense factor involved with that as well. I mean, there have been studies done to see what the feasibility would be to do that. I know there have been studies done, for example, to extend the line or run another line up to like Morgan State University or even as far as White Marsh. So we have some of that research done. So basically, we're just looking to see how feasibly some of those things can be done. But as you mentioned, you know, the red line is something that we're working on. Also, the purple line, which is down around Montgomery County and Prince George's County, that are projects that we are able to do.
I can only imagine if we had a metro that ran up along Perrin Parkway, my goodness, ridership would probably quadruple. Our next and last question is one we received by email. It's from Grant Walters of Hanover, Maryland. Grant writes, I see the MTA Mobility paratransit vehicles everywhere I travel throughout the region. How long has MTA provided this service, and how far can riders ride on this system and travel throughout Maryland? Paratransit, mobility, tell us about it.
Well, actually, it started from 1978 from the Lutheran services when MTA took over that service, and it's expanded since then. We operate in conjunction with the fixed route system, bus, light rail, and metro, 3/4 of a mile of the regular system. And anybody who qualifies for the service under certain ADA guidelines can utilize from anywhere from 6 months up to 3 years. So we have that system in place. It provides transportation for people with disabilities or with needs that normally wouldn't be able to travel the normal fixed route system. We've had that in place for a while, and right now we average over 4,000 trips a day, and passengers can call within 24 hours to book rides for the next day.
But they have to be certified. I mean, that's a good thing. You can't just call up and say, I want mobility. There's a process. You have to go through a certification process and determine what the extent of your disability or your need is before you can actually get this type of service.
Yes.
And I know the service varies. I mean, there's everything from door to door to people doing different types of kind of a mixture of things. So some may do fixed route and then they transition into mobility. So there's a variety of steps, correct?
Yes, exactly. And that's all part of the process, like you said, from the moment they get certified to the point when they can actually utilize the service, make calls to reserve rides, and so forth.
And they can just call our general MTA number and they'll get information on how to reach MTA mobility and things like that, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And you know I'll have you back again to grill you.
Oh, yes. I'll be back.
If you have questions you'd like to ask the MTA, visit our MTA television show link at mta.maryland.gov and drop us a line, or check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful and safe holiday season, and the MTA wishes you happy holidays.